All right, everyone, welcome back into GoThro's production of the 2025 Taupō Classic presented by Choceck. This is one of the premier disc golf events in the world. I'm going to go out and say it, one of the best settings for the game. We've got five-time world champion Juliana Korver here with myself, Nate Perkins, today. I mean, what do you have to say about Spa Park?
Oh my gosh, this is such a great venue. It is so pretty. Now, unfortunately, this year's pretty dry, so the grass is not the vibrant green that we experienced last year, but it's still a fantastic course. I think everybody really enjoyed playing here, and I certainly did.
We've got another great card. Emily Weatherman finished just one stroke back of Sophia at the first Tour Down Under event. You're actually the defending champion here. This was the first stop on the Tour Down Under last year.
That's true.
And we've got Taylor Choceck. She had a great tournament last week in Inglewood. She faltered a bit in the wind during that final round, but she is ready to go. And this course kind of sets up a little better.
It does set up very well for Taylor because there are a lot of shots where I'm choosing to lay up with a putter and she's long enough that she can go over the trouble with a driver. We also have Jenny Umstead, who is an RPM player, so representing the local disc manufacturer.
And her family's got some roots here. Her father has a house in the Bay of Plenty.
He lives here occasionally, and he also has a house in Santa Cruz.
All right, and this is a beautiful starting hole. Kind of heading into the headwind a little bit. You have to cross this little valley, go through those pine trees, and then look where this basket is set up on the slope right there.
It is a very treacherous green. It is, you can't see the bottom of the basket from where you lay up.
Returning champ of the Taupō Classic, representing Innova, OTB, and Revolution Disc Golf Bags. Put your hands together, the legendary Juliana Korver!
Yeah, little breeze. Little headwind left to right there. It's a great play.
This is a good example of just the kind of advantages that Taylor has off the tee because there's really no way that I would consider going for this one.
Hands together for the up-and-comer, Emily Weatherman!
Looks like Emily is lining up a similar play here.
I think Emily does have the power that she could get through that double mando if she wanted to, but she's just not taking the chance.
All right, third up on the tee. With a big shout out to our pooch back home, Tethys, from Eugene, Oregon, the distance champ, Taylor Choceck!
Yeah, world distance champion. Just recently got out of the University of Oregon at Eugene, the heptathlete. I believe the proper word for that is graduated from the University of Oregon. But she is a ripper, and we're going to see a lot of big shots from her this weekend.
From Santa Cruz, California, shout out to RPM, OTB, and Grip Bags. It is Jenny Umstead.
A mint Pekka off the tee. One of the prized RPM discs. Now, is De La Vega her home course?
I believe that is correct,
Yeah.
yes.
Enjoy
Great
the day,
home
ladies.
course.
Have a
What
great
a
time.
great home course. Though it's probably busy every single day.
And Emily just playing this straight shot. And from there, still probably not going to be able to see the pin.
Well, I can see the top of it. Emily
Okay.
might not be able to.
Nice. Going to try and get this turning late. Yeah, it's a pretty shot.
Yeah, and from there it's 2 to 240 into the green.
Little roller, that's going to get back and curl. And that'll be a nice position to approach the pin from.
She got much farther up the fairway than we anticipated. That was looking like a huge shot, but it was so tall it caught the canopy.
Now, this is a really tough shot. You just can't air this pin out. There's OB, 30 feet past this basket and down the hill?
Yeah, it might be a little more than 30 feet, but it plays more like 8 feet because of the ground sloping away.
Then on the other side of that coin, if you're too short, then you're left with that death putt. So it's a precarious approach. Both of those, Taylor and Ginny, those are out in C2. That's like an instant layup from there.
Yeah.
JK AVR. Now, is that going to slide close enough to run it? I don't know.
I'm
We're gonna have to find out.
I'm right on the edge of C1. But at least I'm not looking at the fall away behind. I'm kind of even with the basket.
Yeah, first putt of the tournament. Kind of feeling a layup coming. Timley got for us. Yep, nice layup. Here we go. Seems relatively calm. Oh, with a little distraction.
The distraction is that the gun range nearby just started up right at that moment. And so, I didn't know that there was skeet shooting right next door.
Yeah.
And so the sound of gunshots is pretty disconcerting.
It really is. And it became consistent enough. I felt like that it kind of turned into white noise. I don't know if you felt the same.
I had an elevated heart rate for at least the first 2.5 holes, and then it kind of
That's tough.
settled down.
That was a pretty nice high left catch by that helix.
Yes, thank you.
There.
Yes. This is hole number 2. It's a par 5. This is a new tee, very elevated. It's a really fun shot. You want to try to get over these 2 trees, which from this view looks easy, but it's not necessarily so. There is an out of bounds bubble on the left-hand side that can come into play if you've got a really big arm. And then this green is pretty protected. It's not that large. You can't really see the basket from the second shot.
Gonna stand this turn up just a bit. Great position there.
Yeah, that's just what I wanted.
Right, Evelina Destroyer here for Emily. Just the top of that. That's gonna stay safe, but just barely. This is Taylor with her Venom. She's been loving this overstable driver. When almost finds that OB bubble.
She's a little bit on the left-hand side, so it makes it more of a right to left shot for her second. Jenny caught the tree. The spotter was climbing the tree and trying to find, we knew it was in there, but we couldn't exactly see it. So the spotter climbed up there to identify the exact location.
That's a dedicated spotter.
It was.
All right, you attacking from right here?
Mildly.
Oh, looks like a sin to me. Good width.
I was a little scared that was too wide and it was going to catch the tall grass.
It's a great spot right at the edge of C2. Emily going to pick up that destroyer again? Does she have the power to get there on this angle? Very similar. You guys are pretty close in distance. She goes with that like hyzer line, and you typically get a little bit more on the glide of your discs. And Taylor had a little window. That was fortunate.
There is a window up there. It's just, it's more hard to, it's harder to tell where the basket is.
Yeah.
And because of all the OB around the basket, it feels more dangerous.
Okay, Jenny's in a good spot. There is just OB all around this pin there. And she's right on the edge and gets the green flag.
Last year, the course played far harder for the women. The women were playing most, if not all, of the same holes that the men did, and the same pars as well. And this year, I believe there are 7 shorter tees, and there are more generous pars as well. So it's much, much more scoreable for us this year.
Yeah, those are both eagle looks right there. Jenny from 45. All right, we're on the board. Yeah, 3 down was a card.
Hole 3, 400 feet, slightly uphill. There is out of bounds both right and left. The left side comes into play much more quickly than the right side until you get near the basket. This basket is moved back from last year, and it's on a little bit of an incline. I actually think it plays easier because you can just slam it into the hill with your second shot and not worry about going too long.
Yeah, through the gap in front of the tree. That would be a nice spot to throw your putter from.
Very similar shot by Emily.
Now, is it possible to reach the pin if you have the power? Is that ceiling too low?
I think the ceiling's too low.
She hit it hard. Okay, kind of trickled back out. Should be able to throw a forehand from there. Nice clean release from Jenny.
Good height control.
And a great play. She's into the bullseye for her birdie.
Emily matching that shot.
They're going to hold on? Oh, yeah, no problem. Forehand from a knee. Zone. Wow, that's, I mean, you're furthest out and you're just a step outside the bullseye. So there is some scoring to be had out here at the new layout for FPO, which I think is good.
Absolutely.
That's how it should be.
It's more exciting to play. I think it's more exciting to watch. Star frame, everybody birdie. hole 4, this is a doozy. It's a par 4, 558. You can see a bubble of OB here, and then there's also OB line on both the right and left as you get close to the basket and surrounding the basket. So you can either lay up to that first out of bounds, and then you're going to have a controlled second shot.
Yeah, this is one of the signature holes in New Zealand, I would say. It finishes on this little cliff, and you could see the Waikato River in the background, and it's the largest river in New Zealand, and it's just crystal clear, and there's actually a hot spring that flows out of the ground and into the river, hence the name Spa Park. It's just, you just don't ever see it.
Yeah.
Not too many spots like it in the entire world.
Yeah, you really do need to take a second at the green and just look out over the water.
Yes, it's a wonderful city as well. Taupō is a mid-sized town, a nice tourist attraction. It sits right on this crater lake, 610-foot lake, largest lake in New Zealand. Amazing place to visit, to play disc golf. All right, so you laid up the putter.
Throwing the putter again.
Not getting too greedy, though.
Gets skinnier as you get closer to the basket.
It's that Pekka again. She's going to be attacking. Okay, I take that back. She's just kind of pitching it up to where you threw the putter. I like the play. It's easy to bogey this hole.
Same thing from Emily with a Toro.
So Taylor found the OB. She's going to try and attack and save this par. Need some help. Look at that. Back on edge. What a shot with the zone.
And some good footwork by the spotter there not to get caught up in the disc.
And I think a big difference, too, you mentioned it before, JK, about the grass. It's much drier this year, and we had that kind of shuffleboard effect with the discs. Strong putt from Jenny. Did not accept the high chains.
So Taylor saves par after going OB.
That's huge. And this is undoubtedly the hardest hole that you guys have played so far. Keeping this as the par 4 with all the OB.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to get a par on this hole.
Having a PDGA membership is one of the best ways to engage and compete with your local disc golf community. Being an active member gives you access to thousands of sanctioned events and leagues around the world. From local events to majors, there's an event out there for you. So sign up and join the over 100,000 active members today. Visit pdga.com/join to learn more, and we'll see you out on the course.
If you want to know what a disc is going to feel like before you get it, you have to check out OTB Disc. The first thing I'm looking for when I grab a new disc is the feel of the disc. It's got to be confidence instilled. Virtually in your hand tells you what the disc is going to feel like, how heavy it's going to be. It's everything you want to know before it shows up to your house.
It's really, really helpful in not only finding a disc that looks beautiful, but is also exactly what you're looking for it to feel like. Of course, when you're dealing with OTB, you're going to get only the best.
Hole 5, women playing from the short tee that is this checkerboard right there, and this is 266 feet, but it plays much more than that. It's a slight uphill. There is a mandatory on the right-hand side, so you need to take the straight shot, and the basket is on a tiny bit of a ridge.
Now another hole where if you turn around, you're right on the river. How many times did you go swimming?
We went to the terraces, the
Yeah, the hot pools.
yes, we did that, but
You didn't swim in the river?
I did not go into the river.
Shame, shame, shame. Taylor gonna go mid. Just the effortless nature which that disc is projected. We'll be marveling at that because it's really clean. Yeah, Jenny gets there flat to hyzer. Now, do you ever try and toss those in during practice?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the time. in
Practice, you're trying to toss it in. Come game time, though, you're not really one to try and run those.
Not really.
Yeah. Wow.
Emily, on the other hand, seems to be fearless near the basket, and it often pays off like this beautiful
Look at that. I mean, look how the hand is just finished right on the pole, straight up and down. Yeah, this is going to be a good tournament. I think you're going to have to play pretty well. Not just you in particular, but just anybody is going to have to play significantly under par to take this one down.
I believe so. This is hole 6, par 4, another kind of soft par, 397 feet. It is uphill to start. The basket is surrounded by OB on 3 sides. There's a Mando on the left-hand side, and there's OB on the right-hand side for the drive as well. So it does take some accuracy. There was a little bit of a headwind coming out of here.
Destroyer for Emily, and that just came out a little early. Did she stay safe somehow?
I believe she is safe, yes.
Look at this line from Taylor. I think she wanted some more width. Also finds the hill.
Not quite to the top.
Maybe this is another RPM disc, the Kahu that Jenny's throwing. Really fun glidey driver from RPM. And picking up another RPM disc, Pekka Pekka. Pretty cool that New Zealand has their own disc manufacturer.
I believe all the names are local birds.
Yeah, the Maori names for all the New Zealand native birds. One of them is a mammal, though, and somehow snuck in there. Uh-oh, that's in trouble. Fatal mistake from Taylor.
We've seen that she's got a better chance of staying on line than she does of having the correct height.
That's right, we did see that a bit at the Egg Monster last week. Checks up just safe right there.
You know, she also has effortless power from long range on putts. That's the second putt that could have gone in, wasn't quite in the pocket, but basket could have grabbed it. Another great birdie from Emily. Hole 7, 335 feet. Definitely played longer. Basket is uphill and on a pretty severe slope. If you have enough power, you can try to go to the right of those protecting trees. Otherwise, there's a safe play for par on the left-hand side.
Yeah, good angle. That's a tough spot to run the basket from. See if Emily truly has no fear. Oh, finds the gap a little low right there.
A little low. I got a full foot of clearance.
Also a tough spot to run the basket from. This one's dangerous.
Yeah, I'm not planning on running that.
Taylor lining up the hyzer line with this nuke. Looks a little nose up. Is that enough?
It's a little too tall. She hits the tree. She actually stays in the tree.
Yeah, solid approach. Seemed like a run to me.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, certainly lay up there. Now you're not going to be able to fool us. You're going with the layup. Yep. This has probably the most rollaway potential on the course.
Yeah, I was actually close enough that was frustrating because it felt like that was within my ability to hit that, but it just wasn't worth the potential rollaway.
In a par frame, it will be. Did you camp in the van again?
Yes, Jim and I are really, really enjoying that.
It's the single best way to travel around these.
Absolutely. Hole 8. Last year, this was an island hole. This year, they pushed it back. It's 420 feet. It is another somewhat soft par for the women, but no complaints. Basket is raised. If you happen to go for the basket and miss or roll away, you will be out of bounds.
I think Champion Thunderbird there for Emily. That's going to curl just safe. Great angle. Consistency with that disc.
That's a nice place to be, looking down at the basket.
Kahu again for Jenny. Yep, she also has a nice consistent release on that hyzer sheet. She's never left. She's either pulling it or online. Now Taylor could certainly reach this. Oh, that just fell out of her hand. That's in trouble. And it's gone. That's when that power gets you in trouble.
It definitely can.
That is a Taupō, and it is not going to stick.
I thought that looked good.
Skates down. Don't love that look.
It's going to be a very tall putt.
And you see that and you're like, I want to land on the front side.
Yes, I do.
Okay, I don't even want to putt. I just want to tap it in. That flag's not really going right now.
There wasn't much wind for us first day.
That's nice. Get that reprieve after last week. Emily, yes, that is confidence right there. She's putting with the Invader. How does that compare to the AVR? Have you
I've never
felt
thrown
those?
the Invader.
Yeah. You're not really like the frisbee head. You're not like checking out other people's discs. There's different types of disc golfers, like Gannon's picking up everyone's discs and like, what are you throwing? Why? Clean living.
This is an interesting hole. Women throwing from the front tee right here. It's par 4, 528 feet. It is basically a big horseshoe turning off to the right with an OB line down the entire left side and then the natural OB with the woods and the foliage on the right. Kind of goes slightly uphill to begin with and then downhill towards the basket.
Yeah, another hole where you can have a great view of the river. It's a solid 150-foot cliff right behind this tee pad. Yeah, it's good placement.
You really have to control the height here or make sure that it's turning because the out of bounds long really comes into play fast.
I don't recognize this one.
That's a Larry Leonard disc. I don't know if you recognize the name of Larry Leonard.
Yeah, definitely.
He's an old school player who unfortunately is no longer with us. And his good friend Walter Haney last year at the Tim Selinsky was distributing all of Larry's discs, at least as many as he could. And so every time I was throwing that putter, it's actually a trophy disc from 2001 Florida tournament. And so I think Larry's in New Zealand flying high every time I throw that disc.
That's really cool. Now you can reach it from here. It takes a nice turnover that holds the turn. You can't really see it fade out. And that's going to be in trouble. Believe out of bounds. Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to tell where you need to turn in. So this is a Mako.
Really nice. I think a little more distance off the tee, and it'll make that shot just that much easier. Yeah, that's the fine line, right? Yours kind of faded out. Emily's turned in too early. I think if you have it, this is a great way to access the green. Nuke OS, get the skip. Yeah, I'm also pushing too straight. It's a great disc golf hole. I think I heard a lot of feedback about Spa Park that it really does feel like a disc golf course. You don't need a crazy amount of power. I feel like it's anyone's game out here. Would you agree with that sentiment?
I think that's true. I think having a crazy amount of power can be very beneficial on a few of these holes, but it can also get you in trouble. So it's not mandatory.
I'll be 5 down on the front. Bogey free for Emily. It's a good start.
I think last year for the entire FPO division, there were only 2 birdies for all 3 rounds.
On this hole. Oh, for the tournament?
For the tournament.
For the tournament.
Yes.
Unreal. Oh, and look at that shot. That is the Waikato River right there. Just that New Zealand blue. Emily Weatherman 5 down. JK 4 down. Feeling pretty good about that number?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, look at the field right there. Sophia Donica not on this card. She's also under par as well. And this is the Taupō Classic. It was pretty close to becoming a Disc Golf Pro Tour event this offseason, and I still feel like that's in the cards sometime in the future.
It definitely could handle a DGPT.
I think it could, yeah. Plenty of room for spectators out there. Thanks for joining us here on Go Throw. That's a wrap for this front nine coverage. We'll be joining you guys here for the back nine. Come hang out.